Alright, Tacklebox 82 back, and I'm talking about Microsoft's E3 now. I have mixed feelings about it. I was really impressed, I was really shocked, and I really enjoyed their E3, but I prefer PlayStation. So as a gamer, I was over thrilled that they did so well in some of their announcements. But as a Sony guy, I'm hoping they really step up their E3. They started it off with an exclusive. I don't know how to pronounce it. In the Will of Wisps, it was a really cutie little game. Kind of reminded me of Little Big Planet mixed with an indie type game. I mean, it was pretty interesting looking. Then it was Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. That was an interesting one. At first I thought maybe it was going to be a Tenchu or something, and the game looked alright. Then Todd Howard from Bethesda came out. They did... he announced Fallout 4 is going to be on Game Pass for Microsoft starting today. They again showed the Vault 76 trailer. They said the world's going to be 4 times as big as it was in Fallout 4. That is a huge map. So I'm excited for that. It is going to take place in West Virginia. There was a lot of greenery in the trailer that they showed, and they announced that the pre-orders would start June 15th, so that's not too far away. Square Enix showed the awesome adventures of Captain Spirit. It looked more like a cartoon. They said it takes place in the Life is Strange universe, and that is June 26th. So I don't know about that one, but I'll look at it. Then they announced Crackdown 3 for February of 2019. Nier Automation Enhanced Definitive Edition type thing for the Xbox One X. Metro Exodus looked really interesting. It looks like there's a lot more above ground, sea levels, all kinds of stuff. It looked more like a Fallout game than it did the previous Metro games, so that looked interesting. For the first time ever, they showed a Kingdom Hearts game for the Xbox, and it took place with Frozen, Rapunzel, and several other, newer Disney stuff, along with some of the older ones. It looked kind of interesting. Then they talked about Sea of Thieves, how many people played it, how many hours, and that they have 2 new packs coming out for it, or expansions. Cursed Sails, which comes out in July, and Forsaken Shores, which comes out in September. Battlefield 5 looks really good. They were showing a lot of it. It looks like it might be better than Call of Duty. And as I said in my previous video, I've never played a Battlefield before except for Hardline, so I might be getting this Battlefield. I'm not sure right now. And then they showed Forza Horizon 4. It's going to take place in Britain. It's a shared open world. There's different seasons. The different seasons will affect the entire world. Everybody in the world at once. The vehicles will handle differently depending on what season, what type of land, all kinds of stuff. It looked really interesting, and it comes out October 2nd. Then they announced 5 new Microsoft studios that they acquired or brought on board. A new Santa Monica studio called The Initiative, Undead Labs, Playground Games, Ninja Theory, and Compulsion are now all Microsoft studios. We Happy Few was shown and talked about. It looks weird, but looks interesting. It's going to be out August 2018. That might be one I wait a little bit on. Then they announced Player Unknown Battlegrounds, new way to play, new all kinds of stuff coming the winter 2018. I wasn't sure if that was a new game or if it was just expansion to the current game. I'll have to look into that more. They announced a Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition. Then they showed a trailer for The Division 2 and some gameplay from that. That looks really good. I never got into the first Division, but I'm going to definitely get the second Division. It's looking really, really good. Then they talked about how they've made some modifications to Game Pass. It's going to be twice as fast with, what they're calling Fast Start, and that'll launch in June for select titles. And then they talked about some new games and global releases. The Division, Fallout 4, and Elder Scrolls are all being released today on it. Again, I'm not big into the subscription stuff, but if you are, it seems like it's a good deal. They talked about Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which comes out in September. I think they're just pumping too many of these out at this point. I'm not that interested in it. I'm going to pass on that. Then they showed a skateboard game called Session. It looked interesting, but nothing that I'm wanting to buy at full price. Then they showed some more exclusives. One was called Black Desert. I have mixed feelings on it. Then they showed Devil May Cry 5. They said it is a true sequel to Devil May Cry 4. It's going to be fast-paced, action. They were really excited about it, but I don't think it looks like the original Devil series. I think it's gone too far in a different direction now. I don't know if I'm going to get it or not. Then they announced Cuphead and the Delicious Last Course. It's coming out in 2019. I haven't played the first Cuphead yet. I really need to, but this Cuphead looks really good. It also has a new playable character. Then they showed a game called Tunic. It looks like a Fox version of The Legend of Zelda. It's got probably older, like Super Nintendo looking graphics. Not, anything newer, but it looks like it'll be an interesting game. I might get that. Then they announced Jump Force coming out in 2019. It's Bandai Namco, a bunch of different series like the Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, all mixed in a big arena fighter thing. I'm not real. I like Dragon Ball Z, but I don't think that's one that I want to get right away. Then they showed Dying Light 2, and that looked really good. At first, I thought it was going to be a Last of Us 2 from the trailer. The choices you make are going to affect the world in this one. So if you, help one faction, the world and everything is going to evolve teetotally if you start helping a different one. And they said every action you make or don't make will greatly change the world. So we'll see how it goes. But it did look really interesting. The parkour kind of looks like Mirror's Edge, but handling better. So I'm really excited for that. Then they announced a Battletoads new game coming out. It says it has 3-player couch co-op, so that'll be interesting. It comes out in 2019. Then they showed Just Cause 4. It's coming out December of this year. It looks like it's more of the same. So then they showed a really weird Gears of War pop vinyl type game coming out for iOS and Android. It's coming out in 2019. Not sure they didn't show any gameplay or anything like that. They just showed pop vinyl Gears figures just fighting in a little animation. Then they announced Gears Tactics, and then they announced Gears of War 5, but they're just calling it Gears 5. So it looked pretty good. I've only played the first 2 Gears, and then I stopped playing. I need to get caught up on it, but Gears 5 looks like it would be a pretty good game. Microsoft started bragging about how great they're doing, all the stuff they're working on, how they're improving all their systems. They've got the best system for years to come. He even mentioned that they're working on the next Xbox console. No release, no code name, no nothing, just that the hardware people are working on the next Xbox console. And then when it looked like they were going to close out, they did a surprise trailer for Cyberpunk 2077, and that looked really awesome. I was really impressed with that as well, and that is definitely a game I'm going to keep my eyes on and watch out for. And those are my thoughts on Microsoft's E3. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and y'all have a nice night. Stay tuned for Bethesda's.